the most interesting thing for me from CES was Jensen's keynote. So let's go ahead and cue that up. All right. So this is Jensen's keynote from CES. And the first thing I want to talk about here, and this is coming from a guy who knows AI better than anyone, and this is his projection on where the AI market and innovation is going to go. So in 2012, we had AlexNet. Then we had perception AI from those innovations. So we had speech recognition, imaging was really good with convolutional neural nets. Then, with the advent of the transformer and really scaling these GPU training clusters, we got generative AI, which has really enabled digital marketing and content creation. You can create written content, you can interact with these, and you can learn anything text-based programming, also obviously being text-based with tons of training data, as well as images and video creation. Generative AI has taken off. And what Jensen predicts will be the next two iterations of AI. This year in 2025, he expects agents to take off. At SlashDev, we're building out agents every day for content creation, or code review, image generation, video generation, auditing of different data sets, customer interaction, customer service interaction. Basically, any white collar job dealing with data, there's going to be agents that you're working with to do your job. So whether you're scheduling and you need a scheduling agent to look through the calendars and find the best time for your doctor to meet with this patient and you're managing that office, or dealing with a customer and trying to figure out if their issue is somewhere in your logs of all your customer training data to be able to resolve their technical challenge or whatever it might be. Patient care and being able to get your first response on your healthcare issue on your phone from an LLM, or even in the doctor's office, basically working alongside an LLM. So even a new doctor can have that whole corpus of information at their fingertips. So agents are going to be huge. And this was like one of those moments that got me really excited because it confirmed a lot of what we've been doing at SlashDev, and also opened my mind to just how prevalent these are going to be, and how you're going to have multiple agents working at the same time in a coding environment. Let's say for cybersecurity, you're going to have agents scrubbing your code base and looking for vulnerabilities and highlighting those and letting the developers know, hey, this is something that we should probably look at based on this latest release of vulnerabilities for the C programming language. We might have a memory leak here. On and on. There's going to be applications like that. After this, Jensen talks about physical AI and how that's going to take off. So we obviously mentioned that robotics are set to take off in the next year. So we're going to see more and more. Obviously, we have self-driving cars really taking off. Waymo, Tesla doing a bunch of stuff throughout the US with self-driving, obviously around the world as well with Tesla full self-driving. But I know Waymo is really having fully autonomous cars, driving people around San Francisco and other places in the US that people are really raving about. It's a little bit slower than they'd like, but we're there. We're at that point where we're having self-driving cars within certain geofences. And then we're going to have general purpose robotics. So this was a really interesting takeaway here. And I'll let Jensen now put his words to it.
Ilya Sutskever and Jeff Hinton discovered CUDA, used it to process AlexNet, and the rest of it is history. AI has been advancing at an incredible pace since. Started with perception AI. We now can understand images and words and sounds. To generative AI, we can generate images and text and sounds. And now, agentic AI. AIs that can perceive, reason, plan, and act. And then the next phase, some of which we'll talk about tonight, physical AI, 2012. Now, magically, 2018, something happened that was pretty incredible. Google's Transformer was released as BERT, and the world of AI really took off. Transformers has completely changed the landscape for artificial intelligence. In fact, it completely changed the landscape for computing altogether. We recognized properly that AI was not just a new application with a new business opportunity, but AI, more importantly, machine learning enabled by transformers, was going to fundamentally change how computing works. And today, computing is revolutionized in every single layer, from hand coding, instructions that run on CPUs to create software tools that humans use. We now have machine learning that creates and optimizes neural networks that processes on GPUs and creates artificial intelligence. Every single layer of the technology stack has been completely changed. An incredible transformation in just 12 years. We can now understand information of just about any modality. Surely you've seen text and images and sounds and things like that. But not only can we understand those, we can understand amino acids, we can understand physics. We understand them, we can translate them and generate them. The applications are just completely endless. In fact, almost any AI application that you see out there, what modality is the input that it learned from? What modality of information did it translate to? And what modality of information is it generating? If you ask these three fundamental questions, just about every single application could be inferred. And so when you see application after applications that are AI driven, AI native, at the core of it, this fundamental concept is there. Machine learning has changed.
Yeah. So just a great breakdown of the different traits of these stages of AI advancement. And then, yeah, we got to show this. I forgot about this, but this is 100% AI generated video here. So just check this.
Frames. It can predict.
Yeah, video games are going to be epic. That's for sure. Video games are going to completely change how epic the gameplay is and the environments are going to be. So then he talks about agents a bit more here, dives into some different agents and all the different categories that an agent could be in: customer service, sales, content creation, development, anything across the board. We're going to have agents working to move things forward. AI PCs, I actually think there's a later section that's more relevant to talk about that I'm pumped about. Physical AI. So obviously, Meta released Llama, right? And Llama is basically like what you would consider the go-to resource for open source LLMs. There's some others as well, but most enterprises are looking at using Llama so that they don't have to give their data away to these companies. They can host and run their own LLM agents and keep their data in-house. And what I thought was interesting is, based on the success of this, Nvidia has created this Cosmos set of open source models for the physical world. So for training robotics and devices that will interact with the physical world. So all the video training data that you'll need for self-driving cars and for robotics to be able to interact with their environment. They've created and released these models that will be able to be used by companies doing
Demand changes,
various
space constraints, workforce availability.
various different tasks in a warehouse. Humanoid robotics, obviously, he touches on as well. Self-driving cars, a big category too. So the Cosmos set of models seems really interesting for anyone doing robotics. And Nvidia has an awesome stack for robotics. I've got an Orin Nano here, which is, I can give it a quick show and tell here. Why not? So the Orin Nano is one of their cutting edge devices. I shouldn't say cutting edge because they're probably going to release something way better next year. But this has an Nvidia chip on it and can actually be used for robotics. So here I've got a stereo camera connected to it so that you can do like computer vision. And Nvidia dominates these types of setups of these compute platforms with CUDA and with all their machine learning libraries and models that you can use. to quickly build and demo robotics in a real setting. So super cool stuff. I think they're taking another step towards leading that industry and making me believe they're going to continue to be a key player there. Yeah, let's jump forward. Obviously, he talks a bit about humanoid robotics being a major trend, but what I wanted to show that I'm really pumped about is this Project Digits. So let's hear what he's got to say about this.
X's that we have in the company. And it really revolutionized, DGX1 really revolutionized. Where's DGX1?
So DGX1 was a workstation for running these advanced models.
DGX1 revolutionized artificial intelligence. The reason why we built it was because we wanted to make it possible for researchers and startups to have an out of the box AI supercomputer. Imagine the way supercomputers were built in the past. You really have to build your own facility and you have to go build your own infrastructure and really engineer it into existence. And so we created a supercomputer for AI development for researchers and startups that comes literally one out of the box. I delivered the first one to a startup company in 2016 called OpenAI. And Elon was there and Ilya Sutskever was there and many of NVIDIA engineers were there. And we celebrated the arrival of DGX1. And obviously, it revolutionized artificial intelligence computing. But now artificial intelligence is everywhere. It's not just in researchers and startup labs. We want artificial intelligence, as I mentioned in the beginning of our talk. This is now the new way of doing computing. This is the new way of doing software. Every software engineer, every creative artist, everybody who you will need a AI supercomputer. And I just wish that DGX1 was smaller. And so imagine,
Nice.
ladies and gentlemen,
Look at that. It's a Mac mini sized computer. This thing's going to be like $3,000 and available around March of this year. So sign me up. Give me one of these. You can run like, I want to say 200 billion parameter models on this. So Llama's largest model is 70 billion. And you can run this at your desktop, at home, interact with a chat GPT, Llama style LLM, video generation, image generation, whatever you need. And it's reminded me of like Steve Jobs saying that everyone needs a personal computer. And now Jensen is saying everyone needs like their personal AI supercomputer. And for me, from a developer's perspective, 100% get me this as soon as possible. I'm pumped about this product. So yeah, I would say those are the main takeaways I had from Jensen's keynote. Really a riveting talk. I recommend listening to all of it in detail to hear one of the best minds in the business talking about where AI is moving towards. Did you have anything you wanted to add on that, Emmanuel?
Nothing much for me. I'm not so sure what that mini computer was about, but it just reminded me of what we were just talking about earlier about the Acquired podcast. Like you can
Mhm.
literally see here that like he was inspired by Steve Jobs, how he introduced them. He is just doing the
Yeah, right?
exact.
Yeah.
So I think everything is just coming together as a whole, and you can just see everything now. You can see the theories that we just talked about a couple minutes ago being implemented right now by him. Keynote, yes. But what I found really cool was when he introduced the RTX 50 series, because I used to be a huge gamer myself. And just the incredible, I think it's just incredible. I think he mentioned also somewhere the 5070, including DLS 4, has the same, or I think even better performance than a current RTX 4090. And I just found that astonishing. Now, obviously, a lot of people are complaining that, especially at the price point as well, right? Like at
Yeah.
$549, I think that is just insane. But obviously, people are complaining, or the discussion around, okay, it's not raw performance, not raw power. The RTX 5070 is using DLSS 4, which is some type of multi-frame generation that is being used with AI. But I
Mhm.
still find this, how have we gotten this far? I remember just 5 years ago, I might be a little bit old school for this, but I still used to have a 950, GTX 950. So
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of things that we can get hyped about Jensen Huang is releasing, and I think it's just going upwards from here.
Yeah, cutting the cost by 2/3 and getting like better performance for anyone who wants one of these, that's awesome. So it's just great to see computing advancing so fast and getting more bang for your buck. I think for me, what's interesting about that project Digits is if you wanted to build your own AI computer to run Llama 70B, like you're going to need to spend a lot of money to build that. And so the cool thing about that workstation is for only $3,000, you're going to be able to run those models. And so it's really the raw computing power that is set up into that device. If you look at this was a workstation for AI researchers that was like a server rack. And they've engineered that down into the size of a Mac Mini now. So to me, that's incredible. And also the price point, like $3,000, you can go out and buy one of those and have it on next to your Mac to run all your AI workloads if you want to test some of these models, whatever you want to do. So that's why I think that's really fascinating. And I also like, for me, like what I like about agents is it's a fragmented, distributed market where developers are going to be able to build agents for companies. The thing about these foundational models is it's the big boys who win. It's the people with all the money who win. You can't just have two people and build the best LLM in the world. You need all the training data, all the millions of dollars of compute. And so I think what's cool is you can run and build agents with something like this, which is the next phase of development that we're seeing so many enterprises embrace. Yeah, really great talk. Awesome to see and some new wish list items for all of us for 2025.